Went quick. Still a citizen of McLeod County, right? You can really let me have it once you don't have to sit by me.
All right, are we ready? Everyone's ready? Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the McLeod County Board of Commissioners meeting to order today on January 7th, 2025. Can we please begin with our Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we are seated, Board, we are asked to recognize a moment of silence in recognition of McLeod County employees and officials past and present who have passed in 2024. Thank you. We'll now move on to our employee recognition.
Good morning, Commissioners. Happy New Year. I'm excited to get to recognize, and I'm actually going to have Sergeant Leopold come on up. Sergeant Leopold, Al Leopold, is retiring after 28 years of dedication and service and leadership to the McLeod County Sheriff's Office as a McLeod County Sergeant Investigator. If we could please give him a round of applause. Al, I'm going to have you come on up here. This is just a little plaque. We want to say thank you for 28 years is a big deal. We have a nice crew of people in the back who are here. It's a great representation of Al's friendship and his support of the department. Al, would you like to say any words before we bring everybody up for a photo?
Sure. Just want to say thanks to everyone for 28, 27 and a half, 20 fun years. It's been a great ride. A lot of great relationships with people, had some great adventures. Thank you to the county board through the years about being progressive. We appreciate that and the things that we've got equipment-wise and whatnot, so thank you. I appreciate it.
I think we'll have, unless there's any word from the board, I think we'll have Al, if you would come up to the back, we'll do a photo with the commissioners. And then if I could have the rest of the crew coming up as well, we'll do a group photo in a moment. Yep, you're welcome. Al, we'll have you head on to the back.
Need a boost? I'm okay. Okay. Make sure the world quits moving. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You've been holding me up. Thank you.
Al, do you mind standing in the middle
Sure,
here?
let them get set
Yeah,
first.
thanks so much. And if you guys want taking a little step apart, Doug and Sarah? Yeah.
Gray one on the other book.
Okay, awesome. Here we go. 1, 2,
I get on my tiptoes?
3. 1, 2, 3. You look great. Awesome. And can we have the rest of the folks come on up real quick? Thank you.
You don't want to.
You just can stay where you are. Do you mind? Do you mind? Thank you.
Steve just is honest. I think my top left go. Yeah, I know. Got a couple. It's going for him. It's too small.
Come on, we're all way too tall.
Maybe let's do this. Can we have a... Yeah, perfect. Well, maybe do 2 rows if that's okay. Sure. If you're a taller individual, if you can stand in the back, and if you're a little bit shorter, if you can stand in the front. We all have our strengths, man. We all have our strengths. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Would you mind moving this chair over to the side a little bit? Thank you so much. Great. Okay. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
All right,
All right, congratulations, Dale, and thanks again for all those years of service. Our next item of business will be consideration of agenda items. I just have one I'd like to have added to the workshop, which would be 2025 Commissioner Goals. So we'll just add that onto the workshop agenda. Are there any other additions or corrections to today's agenda?
Move to approve agenda.
And second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Schmaltz to approve today's agenda items. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger to approve today's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are at the end of this portion of today's meeting. We'll be looking for a motion to adjourn. Sine die.
So moved. And
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Luthens to adjourn. Sine die. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your service, Commissioner Luthens. Next item, we'll call to order the first organizational meeting. Oh, I'm sorry.
Swear 'em in.
Oh,
We
yeah,
have
it's
to,
in between, isn't it? I apologize.
take a break.
We have to take a break until, we have Judge Winters joining us. I think she may be here in a moment. So we're going to break until she
Okay.
arrives, and then we will do the swearing in of the new commissioner, Lori Chechka, and the re-elected Commissioner Paul Wright,
And Nathan.
and
And
Nathan
Nathan
Schmaltz.
Schmaltz.
Thank you.
Okay.
So many things
Quick
today.
break.
Recess.
Nope, it's good.
you're going to say if I'm raising my hand or anything like that.
Okay. This is on.
There we go.
That one I can hear, Yep. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information you're about to provide is accurate?
I do.
Thank you. So I, Nathan Schmalz,
I, Nathan Schmalz,
swear and affirm
swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
that I will be diligent,
that I will be diligent,
faithful,
faithful,
and impartial
and impartial
in the performance of the duties
in the performance of the duties
as McLeod County Commissioner
as McLeod County Commissioner
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you get those.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so now I don't have to do the first part. All right, so next.
You got the copies? Get Paul's.
Please raise your right hand. I, Paul Wright,
I, Paul Wright,
swear and affirm
swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
that I will be diligent,
that I will be diligent,
faithful,
faithful,
and impartial
and impartial
in the performance of my duties
in the performance of my duties
as McLeod County Commissioner
as McLeod County Commissioner
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh,
Turn one
Yeah.
like this.
where's the newbie? Please raise your right hand. I, Lori Chachka,
I, Lori Chachka,
swear and affirm
swear and affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
that I will be diligent,
that I will be diligent,
faithful,
faithful,
and impartial
and impartial
in the performance
in the performance
of the duties
of the duties
as McLeod County Commissioner
as McLeod County Commissioner
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and abilities.
and abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for taking that slow. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll do that. Lori, I have your back. There's a water and a coffee right here.
There's more coffee? Oh, Ryan's, the attorney's setting you up?
Sheila already did. I'm just grabbing some, I don't know how, she probably drinks more than Booth, so I gotta stake my.
Yeah, watch out, your attorney
Well, there.
can drink coffee.
Well, that's, yeah, I get that.
Okay. Item number 4, election of board chair. We'll call to order the first organizational meeting of 2025 of the McLeod County Board of Commissioners. I'm requesting nominations for the 2025 County Board Chair.
Nominate Joe Nagel.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger to nominate Commissioner Joe Nagel. A second by Commissioner Paul Wright. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Commissioner Nagel, I will hand you the election of vice chair, number 5.
Thank you very much.
There's that if you need it. Thank you.
All right,
Congratulations, by the way.
thank you. All right, we'll move on to the election of the vice chair. I will entertain nominations for vice chair of the McLeod County Board.
Nominate Doug Kruger.
Nomination for Doug Kruger, is there a second? I can second that. Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Hearing no other nominations, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of Doug Kruger as vice chair, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Doug.
Thank you.
All right, I might be a little rusty, but I'll get back in it here. So, we are at the consideration of agenda items. Reminder that Commissioner Wright added a workshop agenda item for later today regarding commissioner goals. Any other additions or corrections to the agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, second by Commissioner Wright. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
I'll move on the consent agenda.
And second.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, second by Commissioner Schmalz on the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on the agenda. Veteran Services. Yep, that's you. That's all right.
Good morning, Commissioners. How are you today?
Good morning.
Good morning. My first report will be the McLeod County Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Annual Report, and you should have that in your packets. As we do every year, we present graduating seniors with pins, flag pins that are provided to us from the DAV. This last year, we had 13 graduates who are joining the military service, so they were presented those pins. 5 from Glencoe, and then you had 8 from Hutchinson. Last year, we were pretty excited that we celebrated our 10th annual Welcome Home Recognition event on August 18th, 2024. We had 11 veterans that were returning from active duty or deployment, and they were given welcome home baskets. You have 54 businesses that were participating in this last year. 19 of those were new, which is pretty phenomenal. It is our goal as Beyond the Yellow Ribbon to make sure these veterans who are coming home receive something that's welcoming them into our community. So that is something we thrive to do, to make sure that they are getting some set of resources, whether it be financial, which links them to their new bank, or investments, job opportunities, as well as a church and so on. I do have this time a veteran. I would like to read the statement for that they had provided to us, saying how much this actually meant to them to receive this gift. Dear McLeod County businesses and organizations, I hope this letter finds you well. I wanted to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your generous contribution to the Welcome Home basket I received after returning home from my service with the Marine Corps. The letters, gift cards, and personalized U.S. Marine Corps themed items you all prepared were incredibly thoughtful and greatly appreciated. Coming home is always a special experience, but the warm welcome I received from this community made it even more meaningful. Your support not only brightened my day, but also reminded me of the strong connections that exist between our local businesses and service members alike, like myself. It's gestures like this that truly make a difference and underscore the importance of community. Thank you once again for your generosity and thinking of me during this transition. Your kindness will not be forgotten. With sincere appreciation, U.S. Marine Corps veteran. If there's pending any questions or comments, we can move on to my next report.
That's fine.
Good? Okay. I'm just waiting for him to put something on the screen real quick so that you guys can see it as well.
I have one question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any names of the people who prepare the baskets that we could recognize?
Yes.
Or
So
is that part of it?
no, I mean, so there's a lot of them that we put it on our page on McLeod County Veteran Services under Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. Those companies, all who put in a donation, are recognized on that page, and it's upgraded or updated every year as well. So all 54 names are on our page. But we have a lot of the new ones, so like Cashwise and Coburn's. Culver's was new, Due North Car Wash, Glencoe Regional Health was new this year. There's a slew of new ones and old ones that have done it pretty every year. Sorry it's a little small, but the second report that I have today is the demo that I went to Fort Cavazos December 6th through the 9th. As you'll see, basically with the Minnesota Association of County Veteran Service Officers, I'm on a reintegration team. I'm the co-chair that goes and does the out-of-state DMOBs or events. And so this year we had 473 veterans that were returning home from the 34th ID. 3 of those veterans will actually be coming here back to McLeod County. We had 2 days of briefings with 2 briefings per day. The big importance of having us CVSOs there is really us linking those veterans not only with their veteran service officers, but also to their benefits they're now entitled to. So it's us really giving them just a snapshot of their new benefits and trying to link them to their county's veteran service officers. It's an overall great experience. There's a lot of different providers that are there that are trying to give these different array of benefits to these veterans. If there's any questions, pending any questions, that is the end of my report.
How often,
Go ahead.
how often do you, sorry, and I know it comes to the board and I lose track, but how often do you, is it once a year? How many times have you been going to these? I think it's great and we want to keep supporting that. But
Yep, so last year was one, this year, or 2 years ago was one, this last year was one. We're looking at maybe 2 or 3 this year because there are a little bit more smaller units that are deploying. There has to be at least 50 veterans that are coming home in order for us to go to the DMOB sites.
Okay.
So right now I only know of 2 for sure that will possibly be happening. What's nice is nothing is coming out of the county's budget for these events for us to attend. It's through the Army National Guard or Minnesota National Guard or through the association that's paying any of the cost.
Yeah, make sure you keep asking. I can't speak for the whole board, but I'm pretty sure we'll support you in those efforts. So,
Oh yeah, no, I'm the out-of-state rep, so you'll see me going to all of them if you approve them
yeah,
for me, so,
of course.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Curry?
Yes, I just want to add on, I mean, thanks to you and Cassandra for all the work you do, and then the whole team of Beyond the Yellow Ribbon work really hard, and I belong to a veterans organization, and we do get a lot of anonymous thank yous, and that really makes you feel good. I mean, there's a lot of veterans out there that need some help and welcome back home, and anything we can do for adjustments, so thanks a lot.
That's what we're here for, so we're happy to do that. Thank you so much, Commissioners. Have a great day.
Yep, thank you.
All right, great report, thank you. Environmental Services.
Good morning.
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 Happy New Year, everyone. Three items for your consideration today. Item A is to consider approving conditional use permit 24-15 requested by Corey Barrett to construct an accessory building to be greater than 2,400 square feet. That would be a 40 by 100 is what he's proposing, on a parcel that is less than 10 acres in size in the agricultural district for the purpose of housing livestock. This rural residential building site is 5.99 acres and is located in section 21 of Hale Township. Thus the request, per the ordinance, McLeod County Ordinance Section 7, if you're on 10 acres or less and you want to build a building that's bigger than 2,400 square feet, you do have the option to go through a conditional use permit, which is why he is here. The Hale Township Board recommended approval on December 12th, 2024. The McLeod County Planning Commission recommended approval on December 18th, 2024 with the following condition. Number one, the structure shall be used for personal use only. If the structure is used to generate revenue, a new conditional use permit will be needed. That condition typically is placed on items like this by the Planning Commission for the purpose of not allowing things like boat storage or contractors' yards to be moved in and utilize those buildings without going through a new public hearing.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I just want to be clear, I asked for these next two items, this item and the next one to come from Mark, because I had some questions on them, and I think it's good, even though it's been reviewed already. But there's always some questions that I'd like to see as far as transparency, so that's why he's here. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve.
And second?
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, second by Commissioner Schmalz, approve conditional use permit 2415. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is to consider approving conditional use permit 24-16 requested by Matt Urick to operate a home occupation of an excavation company, former Jewel Contracting of Hutchinson, Minnesota, on his property located in the agricultural district and described as 8.93 acres in the northeast corner of section 15, Hassan Valley Township. Equipment and a small amount of gravel, 30 to 40 yards, will be stored outside directly south of the building. An accessory structure to be greater than 2,400 square feet on the parcel less than 10 acres is planned in 2 to 3 years. The Hassan Valley Township Board recommended approval on December 10th, 2024. The McLeod County Planning Commission recommended approval on December 18th, 2024 with the following conditions. Number one, waste fluids shall be disposed of in a concealed container and stored per Minnesota Pollution Control Agency regulations. No more than 5 non-resident employees shall be permitted with the business. Number three, all salvage materials shall be properly stored in a designated bin area outside of the public's view. Number four, hours of operation on site are 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. And the reason why this is also on regular agenda, Planning Commission, we thought that it would be prudent to put that on the consent, and per conversation with Mr. Kruger, Commissioner Kruger, I agreed that it's something that probably should be in front of the board. So I appreciate Doug doing that. In regards to that, the reason it did originally go to consent is the neighbors, there were no neighbors there at the public hearing. We do send out notices for conditional use permits within a quarter mile. Public notice was given, and the township did have an opportunity to review this against their road.
Very good.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Again, well, first I'll make a motion to approve, so we can go to discussion.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Is there any discussion? Doug?
I had some questions of my own that I talked to Mark about, and I also talked to Sue. My questions were, kind of the difference between home occupation, industrial, commercial, and how they were assessed and how they were viewed. And again, it's all there, but I had questions, so I thought, it's good for transparency, and then I've been working for consistency in assessing, so that's where my questions were based on, so thanks for coming.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And I'd also like to thank Mark and the Planning Advisory Commission for dealing with these last two permits. It makes our job easier up here as a county board. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for taking care of the homework and answering the hard questions before it comes before us.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is probably going to be one of many questions, but what is a home occupancy compared to just like a business?
So the home occupation, that is a very good question. They live there. So they are not just running a business on a piece of property. Their primary use of the property is for them to live there. It's their habit, it's their residency. And then they are running a secondary operation there. In this particular case, he'd run his business off of that operation. Typically, the planning commission will review this and the township reviews this against the area. So if there's a fit for the area where it's not gonna be detrimental to the area, neighbors, we look at things like noise, odor, dust, that type of thing to determine if there's conditions that have to be placed on there to mitigate for those concerns. If we can do that, then obviously it's typically forwarded on to the county board with a recommendation for approval if those things can be mitigated for.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C.
Consider approving the renewal of an agreement for services with Carver County Environmental Services Department to approve and/or inspect Type 4 and 5 advanced subsurface sewage treatment systems from January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, at a rate of, and I need to correct that, it should say $78.50, 64 was last year's rate, per hour, not to exceed $2,500. Mileage based on current IRS rates shall also apply to any travel related to the work completed. This is a budget neutral request. The reason for that, per our fee schedule, we do bill back directly to the applicant for any of the costs associated with the permit. Type 4 and 5 systems, just for clarification, Type 5 is typically systems that exceed 2,500 gallons per day. So those are typically your establishments similar to the Kroger Winery. Use that as an example because we just approved one there. Type 4 systems are typically on small lots that need pre-treatment and don't have the area to put in a standard system.
Very good.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
with that 78, what did you say, 78.64?
$78.50 per hour.
50, no, that's not, and obviously you're not changing to 2,500, and that's not, you're not gonna run into trouble with that increase.
No, this agreement we've had in place, I want to say for 3 years now with Carver County, just because you do need an advanced designer certificate to be able to do those. And the amount of those systems that we typically see in a year are very, very little.
Okay.
So it's good to partner with neighboring counties that do currently have that certification. We have a good relationship, obviously, with Carver County Environmental Services, and we have not come close to that $2,500.
Thank you, that was, no, the working together is good, saves us money.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Health and Human Services. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome, Commissioner Chachka. Summer, do you want to just stand up? You just stand. I want to introduce Summer Reinert. She is our new Support Services Supervisor for Health and Human Services. Yesterday was her first day. She has some previous county experience at Carver and Sibley County, already asking excellent questions. So we are glad she's here, and I wanted to introduce her to you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
All right, I have 4 items before you today. Item A, consider approving a temporary renewal of the Crisis Program Joint Powers Agreement with Carver County to receive funding and administer our mental health crisis and other related services to clients in McLeod County for the period of January 1st through March 31st of 2025, with funds from the Individual and Family Services budget. Carver County will provide our mental health crisis services, act as the fiscal agent, and assume responsibility for billing and the patient's insurance for mental health professional services that the patient or client receives. In addition to the money granted by the Department of Human Services, McLeod County will pay a one-time fee of $2,500. If you recall, at the last meeting, I let you know that Carver County has told us that they are not going to continue with the mobile crisis services for much longer. In that notice, they did agree to keep us on through March 31st, which we want to do while we pursue other opportunities for us.
Very good. I won't put you on the spot, but you'll update us on the plan
Absolutely,
as
yes.
it comes through.
Absolutely, will do. And just to note that this will be a DocuSign, so.
Great.
Get ready for those.
All right,
I'll move request, Mr. Chair.
motion by Commissioner Schmalz, is there a second?
And I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
A little bit of background information that I received in discussion with a Carver County Commissioner. And I think what they're going through on their end is a little bit of a reorganization with how they cooperate with Ridgeview Medical Center. Am I
Yes.
correct on that, Barry?
Yes, yes, yep, yes.
So I look forward to whatever becomes of a new agreement. And yes, please update us when that information becomes available.
What I will do.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'm questioning myself, Barrett, so excuse me if I missed something here, but I thought I had read earlier that the contract was just until March, but now is it December? Am I mixed up with two contracts? I mean, they're,
No, this one will go through March 31st of
Okay.
this year.
okay,
Just
very
a few
good.
more months.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, consider approving a contract renewal with Hutchinson Health out of Hutchinson, Minnesota to provide outpatient mental health services for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2025, at a cost not to exceed $15,000, with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services budget. Hutchinson Health will provide the following outpatient mental health services: testing and evaluation, group and individual therapy, services to clients after hospitalizations, medication review, medication management, and maintenance of effective communications with the client's physician. The outpatient mental health services will be provided at the following reimbursement rates, which are listed there. This is a 3% increase from our previous 2024 contract.
Any questions for Barrett?
Mr. Chair, first I'll move request on contract.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion, Nathan?
Mr. Chair, and Barrett, I think with Hutchinson Health and their staffing, I think there was a little bit of a hurdle, let's say last year or past years, as far as their staffing levels on licensed psychologists or people that were capable to provide services.
Yeah.
Do you know, has that situation improved at Hutchinson Health?
I think it has. I think they've hired a couple more physicians to be able to accommodate us, but we know that that is an ongoing issue with a number of mental health providers. And so it is just good for us to have this contract in place for when we do need to be able to utilize them.
Thank you, Barrett. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, consider approving the renewal of the purchase of service agreement with Hutchinson Health out of Hutchinson, Minnesota to provide mental health hold order services for the period of January 1st through December 1st, 2025, with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services budget. Hutchinson Health will provide mental health hold order services as medically appropriate. These services may include confinement of persons, observations, psychiatric services, diagnostic and evaluation services, nursing services, family education and support services, group and individual therapy, medication administration, occupational and recreation therapy, and other treatment services specific to the individual patient's treatment plan. The mental health hold order services will be provided at a daily rate of $1,751 for the duration of the inpatient stay. This is a 3% increase from the 2024 contracted rate. And I just want to draw your attention, in the packet on page 160, it does say that the contract expires on 12/31/23. That is a typo. That has been corrected to 12/31/25 on the agreement that will be signed.
All right, wishes of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, second by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, and my last item, consider approving the renewal of the shared services agreement with the Southwest Minnesota Adult Mental Health Consortium, or the Southwest 18, for 2 full-time equivalent regional housing specialist positions for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2025, with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services budget. The Southwest 18 will reimburse McLeod County 5% above salary and benefits for the administrative costs. This is the same rate as our previous 2024 agreement with them.
And again, this is a renewal, correct?
This is a renewal, correct?
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I do have one, Barrett. How crowded, I mean, mental health is a big thing, no matter where I go. But how crowded is that program? I mean, are you able to get at mental health help?
Yeah, so these housing specialists help people with mental health needs find housing, secure housing, just locate housing, do the Section 8 vouchers, do all of that, and they are very busy doing that for all of those Southwest 18 counties.
Would you go so far as to say they're behind? I mean,
Sure, I mean, they have plenty of work, if not too much to do.
because that's
Yeah.
that's the message
Yep.
I'm getting.
Right.
Whatever that means behind, but I know they're swamped.
And there's
And
more
there's no
people.
room for,
Right, there's more people that want housing opportunities and not enough available housing or affordable housing for them to find.
thank you.
Thank you for that question.
Very good. Do we have a motion? Yep. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Employee relations.
Good morning.
Morning.
2 items today. The first is item A, consider approving resolution 25 CB09, authorizing human resources to fill replacement positions upon approval from the Personnel Committee. This is an annual authorization.
Hannah, just please for everyone, go over what that looks like, please.
Yeah, so anytime that anytime a position becomes vacant, if we have a retirement, resignation, termination, we present that. First, we take time with the department head or supervisor that oversees that position to ensure that there's still a need, make sure the job description is still relevant. We do some prep work first. If it's determined that this position should be filled, we will then reach out to the Personnel Committee, which is Administrator Murphy, myself, and 2 commissioners who are on that committee, and then that is asked if it's approved to fill. And so basically what this does is it authorizes us to do that with the Personnel Committee review.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I will move Resolution 25-CB-09.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I had some of the same questions that you're talking about over the years, and I pretty much got clarified. Just because it comes to the Personnel Committee doesn't mean it doesn't get to the board. I mean, some of them are very simple boilerplate rehires or but if there's anything, as far as the board can still decide on whether it's an up or down vote on what we do, so.
Mr. Chair, can I
Yes.
explain a little bit more? Yeah, what I would say is if there's ever a consideration of a change to that job, especially if there's going to be maybe a job description needs to be reviewed and it ends up in an increase in a grade, or if there's some sort of additional, something that's not budgeted for or wasn't already in that position, we would, of course, bring that to the board. We would still have Personnel Committee review it, see what kind of questions may come up, but then we'd bring that to the board if there was a significant change. What this resolution does is it states if something really is remaining the same, we recognize that the position is remaining the same, we need to fill it the same way, the need is there. That's where this authorization is allowing us to bring it to personnel and fill those positions, which has been really helpful in our hiring and recruitment process.
Mr. Chair, and that's why I asked the comment. It's because sometimes, I'm being on the Personnel Committee, I'm bothered sometimes by making that recommendation, but I see we'll bring it forward because of the worthiness of the ask, so I just wanted to make that clear.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B is consider approving the updated sick leave policy in the McLeod County Personnel Policy. This policy was updated due to the 2025 State of Minnesota Earned Sick and Safe Time, or ESST, requirements that have been updated as of the 1st of January 2025. I will just add as well that this sick leave policy does not change the way that McLeod County employees accrue sick leave. It remains the same, but we did have to expand the use of sick leave to meet what is required for employers in the state of Minnesota. And so our attorney, our labor attorney has reviewed this as well and meets the qualifications that all employers have to meet.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And a question for you, Hannah. So with the earned sick and safe time requirements, are you deviating anything from what the state language is, or is it pretty much compliance with state language?
Yep, it's compliance with state language. You know, if you remember, there's a lot of things that come to the board, but we had to be in compliance with this requirement as of 2024. And at that time, we had we had continued to have our normal sick leave policy, but we had to add this additional earned safe and sick time. So we were in compliance in 2024. And as a reminder, you know, this ESST was really set up for employers that weren't offering paid sick leave. And McLeod County and other public employers offer generous sick leave policies, but we had to work within what is required of the state. Now in 2025, because of some changes to the language and requirements, our sick leave and ESST policy are one, and that is, again, to just meet what is required of the state requirements.
Thank you, Hannah, and thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll move a request for the sick leave policy.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
how long, I mean, the Family Leave Act, when's this, I mean, I'm okay with this. I did my research on what we're at today. But when will the Family Leave Act take, you know, change this whole thing?
Yeah, so just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So right now, today, we're talking about the Earned Safe and Sick Time, ESST. I think what Commissioner Kruger you're talking about is the paid family leave that will take effect in takes effect in 2026. So that is a separate thing that the state of Minnesota is rolling out. There will be some more conversations with the board in 25 because we will have to, I think as of July, we have to start, the tax comes into play for employers and employees that have to come out to go towards that paid family leave. But again, that is a different leave that again won't take effect until 2026.
And I understand that, Hannah, thank you, but I mean, there is some I get a lot of questions on, you know, are they really separate, or do they combine them, or can they be combined at the time of whatever issue comes up? And I'm
Yep.
just saying that to keep it
Yep.
in mind more than.
So I would say these are quite, I'm not the expert on this. I would also say this is like continuing to change. So we're learning a lot. McLeod County is trying to take the stance of we want to be actively engaged, but we also don't want to be reactionary because as we know, things change a lot. So I would say they're quite separate. You know, ESST is for, you know, you'll see within the policy, you know, reasons, everything from going to your doctor's appointment to maybe showing up for a family's funeral. And so it's really about those everyday kind of medical needs or responses, mental health needs, things like that. So it's really sick leave, but it's had to expand the definition a little bit with this ESST. The paid family leave is for something like maybe being on a parental leave, or being on a medical, maybe you have a surgery, an extended time. So that really is a separate type of, you still have to meet requirements to be eligible for the paid family leave, which again doesn't take effect until 26. So I would say right now, my understanding is these are very separate requirements.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Public Works. Good morning.
Good morning. I have three separate resolutions for the board here that are all tied together. So I'll go through them individually, but we'll go from there. So I'll just start over. A study was completed by the City of Glencoe and McLeod County focusing on the functional classification and primary use of roads through the City of Glencoe to determine which routes should be on which system. That study determined that Ford Avenue should be on the city system. It also determined that 18th Street from Ford Avenue to Hennepin Avenue and 11th Street from the city limits to Armstrong Avenue and Armstrong Avenue from 11th Street to Trunk Highway 2 should be on the county system. In December of 2023, McLeod County and the city of Glencoe entered into an agreement for these jurisdictional changes, and these following three resolutions are the conveyance documents that were agreed upon in 2023. So the first resolution, consider adopting Resolution 25CB02 to revoke county state aid mileage from County State Aid Highway 2 Ford Avenue between 13th Street, which is Trunk Highway 22, and 18th Street. Also designate CASA 2 on 18th Street between Ford Avenue and Hennepin Avenue, as well as designate Hennepin Avenue between 13th Street, which is Trunk Highway 22, and 18th Street as County State Aid Highway 2.
All right. Wishes of the board, clear as mud?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
No, I'm okay with it. I have some, I mean, it's splitting hairs, and we've talked about this several times in workshops, and I've been at some city meetings. I have some reservations about what could happen, but right now, this is the best as far as turnbacks and funding and the whole 9 yards. So with that, I'll move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Chachka. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Andrew, how many years has this been worked on? I mean, what I'm referring to is, we're talking a long time.
Yep. Originally, back in the early 2000s, the city and the county and MnDOT started a study, and then that study was redone in 2018, and working towards this today in 2025.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. And what I'm trying to reference is there's been a lot of work put into this turnback agreement. So I appreciate the work that was done by McLeod County, by the city of Glencoe to get this to where it is today.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, and we're moving into construction phase, so, I mean, these are some things that have to be cleared out. And again, I don't overread into my concerns of, I mean, it's, for an example, I just have concerns about Ford Avenue and a truck route and them type of things. And they've been talked about, and comes a time where you just have to move forward and hope everybody holds to their word. So we'll do from that. So we're moving into construction, so this is something we have to do.
Correct.
Any further discussion?
I do have one more question, Mr.
Yes.
Chair. So the map you gave me, is that Hennepin that goes north past the old North Complex?
Yes.
Is that already county?
Yep, that is County Road.
Okay.
today.
All right, thanks.
Any further discussion?
You may explain, Andrew, to Laura, that it's county all the way from 22, or it will be county all the way from, well, it is now.
Yep. The only thing this resolution is doing is designating that Hennepin from 18th Street to Trunk Highway 22 is a county state aid highway.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, Ed.
Consider adopting Resolution 25CB03 to revoke County Road 2, Ford Avenue as a county road between 13th Street and Trunk Highway, which is Trunk Highway 22 and 18th Street. So the previous resolution that was just adopted revoked the state aid mileage on that. This turns it back over to the city of Glencoe.
Very good.
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schmalz. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, consider adopting Resolution 25CB04 to designate 11th Street from the west city limits of Glencoe to Armstrong Avenue, and Armstrong Avenue from 11th Street to 13th Street, which is Trunk Highway 22, is County State Aid Highway 3.
Mr. Chair, I'll move Resolution 25-CB-04 as presented.
Very good. Motion by Commissioner Schmalz, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Doug?
Andrew, that means we own the bump.
That means we own the bump.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The city of Glencoe will need to concur with these resolutions at their next city council meeting, so
Just keep us updated on that,
we'll
please.
do.
Information technology, Matthew.
Good morning. Excuse me. Consider the approval of joint powers agreement with Carver County for fiber optic lines and maintenance for 20 years and automatic renewing for 5-year terms. This joint powers agreement provides strands of Carver County fiber to McLeod County from Norwood Young America Department of Transportation tower site for public safety radio purposes. It provides basic break fix, repair, maintenance, and splicing, and Gopher State 1 call locating service on covered McLeod County fiber optic lines by Carver County, and in exchange provides strands of McLeod County fiber to Carver County. Currently, Public Works provides the Gopher State 1 call locating service on our fiber optic lines, and we do not have an agreement in place for break fix repairs or maintenance. Repairs that require construction activities or relocations are not included as part of this agreement and are the responsibility of McLeod County. Public Works is in support of this agreement. If approved, we still have a number of unallocated strands of fiber available for future use. There is no cost to this agreement other than providing strands of fiber to Carver. This agreement has been reviewed by the County Attorney's Office.
Mr. Chair, just a question on that. Maybe more for the attorney's office. We're automatically renewing for 5-year terms. I guess I can't recall a contract that has said something like that in it before. So 20 years from now, this will come up again. Do you see you don't see any reason to at least have a discussion about, every 5 years that we're automatically renewing this, or just kind of curious because I've never seen that language before, so.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think, obviously there would be an opportunity after that initial period to, if for some reason things weren't going well, to move to opt out of the agreement. I mean, I think there's as much of a danger if after 20 years it automatically renews versus doesn't. I mean, as far as getting overlooked and leaving, without that clarification. And Matt, I don't know, you can talk a little bit maybe about, why we had that term in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as far as joint powers and the ability to do that, there's certainly precedent elsewhere for that. I mean, it's not a unique term just to this agreement, but agreed, it's not something we see every day.
So the 20-year term was proposed by Carver. That's what they do on other agreements similar to this that they've done. Just to be clear, there is language in the agreement that'll allow us to get out of it if we choose to do so.
Okay. So, I mean, with the automatic renewal, those, with any joint powers agreement, it's about assigning rights and responsibilities and obligations and kind of, managing where liabilities, would fall. So, I mean, there is a benefit of having that in place, and in 20 years, if it's, it'll be probably others in this position, for that continue to be, that stability there. But, so other than that, I mean, that's where that's really all that's driving it. So.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And this is a question and a statement. I mean, that locks us in on our optic fiber for 20 years as well. I mean, I remember when we were fighting to get some pairs out of the metro area. So, I mean, it's got its good and bad, but that's, I see no harm in it other than if anybody ever cuts it.
Correct.
All right, any other questions? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Sorry, Doug?
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Kruger, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 14 on our agenda, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. It's consider a request, which we tabled at our last meeting, from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to certify an easement for wildlife habitat protection on a property in McLeod County. I have a note here that Nathan, is it Pauler, the realty specialist with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, contact administration, and feel free to fill in the blanks if we need to here. And let us know that he would not be able to attend today's meeting. He also confirmed the board's request from previous meeting for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to identify any existing drainage on the property that is subject of the easement, and to notify adjacent property owners who may have drain tile leading onto the property. He says he anticipates being available in February. What I'm not clear on is, did that happen?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
from what I understand, it did not.
Okay.
And I'm on agenda review, so I brought it up. It has to come back because we set it for
Yep.
this meeting.
Yep.
So now, what I'd like to do is make a motion to just table it indefinitely because he won't have trouble getting back on.
Would you give me the latitude to let Stefan
Absolutely.
go there before you make that
Yep.
motion?
I learned some of my information through.
Okay. Go ahead, Stefan.
Yeah, Commissioner Kruger explained it pretty well. Mr. Powler emailed me just notifying me that he wasn't going to be able to make it to this meeting when the board tabled that item 2. He didn't clarify whether he had done those actions or not, but in his email, he did want me to just confirm what the board requested. So the fact that he was confirming what the board needed, I guess I kind of assumed then that they had not completed those tasks, but were in the process of doing so. And I did ask him again, when he thought he would be available to come back to the board. He thought February, but did not commit to any specific dates.
Okay. So the pulse I'm getting is we would table it again to a meeting in February. The question is, which meeting should we potentially table it to, but you don't know its schedule.
I don't. If you were going to do that, I guess I'd suggest the second meeting just to give them the most time to complete the diligence that the board asked them to do.
All right, thank you for the information.
Mr. Chair, somebody help me. Why can't we just table it indefinitely? Because he won't have trouble getting back on the agenda, because otherwise we go around on
Yeah,
the circle.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I just, I guess I overthought it regarding his schedule in February. So-
Because he couldn't give us a date, and that's when Steph
didn't
and I
guarantee
talked. There's
February,
I'd be happy if he'd give us a date to put it to that date, but he couldn't come up with one.
No, that's on me. I just was reading into the information maybe a little too much. All right, what are the wishes of the board?
I'll make a motion to table the Fish and Wildlife until they put in another request for agenda item.
Very good. Motion by Commissioner Kruger to table. Is there a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Wright. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Auditor Treasurer. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Commissioner District 4 and Board Chair, welcome to your new roles. Near the end of December, the board asked me about the 2024 election expenses. I did prepare just a short summary of the accounts. And do you want me to just read off what the expenses are, or just talk about them in general with the total?
However you feel the information will get relayed the best.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
And Connie, thank you for coming. I kind of I requested this too because she sent out, after our request for election expenses, and I made some of my own requests, she sent me a nice email, or all of us actually, and when I seen the costs of having an election, I was somewhat set back and, of how much it does cost us. And I know I couldn't do the job that Connie is going to do right now to explain how these costs came about, so I requested it on the agenda.
Very good.
Okay, so I guess we'll just go down the row and I'll give a little description, and then if there are more questions, we'll go from there. Salaries and wages, this is a proration of 3 full-time employees and also 5 part-time election personnel that I have. That total for 2024, which is 3 elections, is $189,449. It also does include a proration of benefits. Communications and publishing is $2,251. The annual maintenance agreements that McLeod County pays on our equipment, that's all the equipment for the county, is $33,990. We do not bill back any of these costs to the townships or the cities. The county takes care of these so far. Mileage is $265. That would be, to go attend trainings. Meals and lodging, $2,530. And then programming is $41,070. This would be the programming of the tabulators, the ballots, the OBTs that you see when you check in, the Omni ballot tablets at the polling locations. Office supplies, $12,574. The ballots themselves and the envelopes, the security envelopes, all the envelopes for absentee voting, mail balloting, $28,490. State voter registration cards, we do get billed back from that. That's $460. And then we had some small capital. We had to do a PC upgrade, and then another piece of equipment. That was $5,923. So the total of all the 2024 election expenses is $317,002. I did have a couple starred items that I shared with the commissioners. There is no overtime of anyone, and no overtime of salaried employees is included. No overtime of salaried. And then that would be for hours that are mandated by the state on the weekends, those regular extra hours that we had. There is also, comp time is included in that because that would be paid out at a later date. It also does not include the regular full-time employees of the county that we were so gracious to have their help with our teams that we had. So those would be from administration, veteran services, recorders. They worked in teams and helped us out with voting also. And let's see. We did get a small discount on the programming, and then we did receive $51,245 reimbursement for the PNP election. That wasn't the total cost of the PNP election, but as you may know, that's not supposed to be funded by the county because that, was taken over by counties when it was deemed we needed to. Let's see. The part-time employees do everything from helping to train judges, they test our equipment, they help with absentee voting. Wherever one ballot goes, 2 people go. So, essentially they're doubled up on their work that they do. They help with the mail ballot processing. We do still have 3 mail ballot precincts. And I think that's maybe all I was going to talk about, other than, we do, like I said, it's always been McLeod County's thought that we do absorb most of the cost of elections. I know that Commissioner Kruger pointed out also that the cities and townships do pay for their own election judges, so this isn't the total cost within the county. This is just the cost for McLeod County. And then in the past, those cities and townships have paid a portion of their equipment if we don't get it all fully granted, so funded by grants. I think that's all I have on my notes. Any questions or anything you want clarification on?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
No, thank you, Connie. Or at least, I hope there's some more questions, but this is, my point was, it shocked me, to be honest with you. When you put it all together, you can line item it, but these are all, I think our legislators should be made aware of all the stuff they do, and I really thank our staff, because we're just not doing anything other than being friendly, or as friendly as we can be, that we aren't mandated to do. And there's a lot to obviously the training that you do to the election judges for the city and the county. Otherwise, they also pay these people for a per diem or whatever you call it. They pay them too. So there's more expenses. But I just, from a one-day election to now, I was just set back to see that number.
I would agree.
That was a big number.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
And I too, you know, it's a staggering amount when you put numbers to what an election costs McLeod County and the other entities within McLeod County. When I did some township visits back in December, I had one township that asked me, what did our election cost? And I says, well, I have no idea. And that's why I refer those questions to the professionals that work with it almost every day. So thanks for putting the numbers together. Thanks for bringing or enlightening our minds on what this transparency costs us. And that's how I try to make a little bit of sense of it, is if I include the transparency of an election, it comes at a cost. So again, thanks for putting the numbers together.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
as having worked with Connie and her crew for the past 5 years on elections, as a city that's talked to other cities outside of McLeod County, there isn't a lot of counties that do this. Like, I had a clerks meeting last May, and they're, we're sitting around talking, and everybody's like, oh my God, these elections, I hate them, we have so much to do. And I'm like, your county doesn't do this for you? Like, they don't get all the ballots and proof all the ballots, and, I mean, they do an amazing job, and I feel very comfortable every time I come in, because they do such a great job of preparing us for 7 in the morning till 8 at night, and that's just the election. That's not the setup, the takedown, and all that. So they do an amazing job, and to help us absorb some of that cost, I think they really, really did a great job, especially with all the extra stuff that you guys had to do this year, the Saturdays, the Sundays, and so I did not realize either that it was that much. So thank you very much to all of you guys.
You're welcome. We have a great team.
Good comments.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, moving on to county administration, review of the calendars. I can start. I don't have much with being the end of the year, some personnel-related issues, some township conversations and research regarding some potential projects. Yeah, I guess that's, to be honest with you, all I've got. Paul?
About the same. The end of the year stuff was not a lot of scheduled meetings. Did meet with administration at Title Mark to finish the paperwork that finally put the land across the street into private hands after a couple years of working on that. So thanks to everyone involved, and it's we'll see what becomes of the property now. So that's about it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have much either. We had our workshop after our last county board meeting, and I had an HRA meeting on the 18th, and agenda review this week, along with, I went to an SWCD meeting yesterday to kind of get back in the groove with what's going on with grants and different things in the county through soil and water.
Thank you, Commissioner Kruger. Since our last county board meeting on December 17th, we held a workshop right here at the Government Center. And then on Thursday, the 19th, I did an agenda review with Kaisa Olson. Kaisa Olson, as I've referenced in the past, is the director of our CHS here, our Meeker McLeod Sibley Public Health System. And then on the 20th, we held our Joint Powers Board meeting for our CHS, and the meeting was held in Litchfield. We have alternated sites. We used to meet here in McLeod, but last year we kind of made the decision to alternate our sites to the other counties participating in our CHB. So we held a meeting early in the year at Sibley. We held a meeting in McLeod. We held a meeting again early in the year at the Southwest Initiatives Building in Hutchinson. And now our final meeting was in Litchfield at their Government Center as well. Again, enjoyed a holiday break, so a light schedule. It gets me to this week. I did have a conversation with the gentleman from my district, and the discussion was about solar. So that brings me to today, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Anything yet?
Nope, nothing yet. I did get my computer yesterday, so I was really excited.
That's half the battle.
Excuse me, my iPad. That's it.
Mr. Hanch, anything before your agenda items? All right. Administration?
Thank you. Item A, consider approving the proposed 2025 county board meeting dates, including the evening meetings for the Board of Appeal and Equalization and the Truth and Taxation meeting for the ordinary business of the county board during regular county board meetings and the ordinary business coming before the county board as the drainage authority. And as you can see in the agenda, thank you to Stefan Wiblemo. He does an excellent job organizing our meetings throughout the year. The proposed 2025 county board meetings are listed.
Stefan, anything to add?
Nothing to add other than, when we talked earlier last year about this, it was the board's wish to kind of keep things consistent, and in 2025, all of our meetings will fall on the first and third Tuesdays. The only change of note, I guess, would be in December, we've sometimes had that first meeting on Thursdays last couple of years to avoid conflicts with conferences. And this year, because of a change in the conference date, that meeting can now be on the Tuesday, the first Tuesday.
I think that's good. Anything else?
No.
Okay, let's see here.
Oh, I do have my other items, I'm sorry. I thought
No, but I think
you
we-
need to vote on
Yep,
the
we need to
calendar.
approve this. The wishes of the board on the meeting schedule.
Thank you.
Looks good, move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wright, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schmalz. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, consider adopting resolution 25-CB-05, awarding official McLeod County newspaper for 2025. 2 bids were received for 2025 official McLeod County newspaper. The lowest bid was $5.35 per column inch from the McLeod County Chronicle in Glencoe, which has a county circulation of 1,631. The other bid was $5.45 from the Herald Journal in Winstead, with a county circulation of 716. The recommendation is to accept the low bid and adopt resolution 25-CB-05, designating the McLeod County Chronicle as the official McLeod County newspaper for 2025. I do want to note that because of state statute being limiting, we could not receive a bid from the other newspaper that is in McLeod County with the circulation. And that this is a significant increase. I do know that it's been at the Association of Minnesota Counties being reviewed regarding the state statute. It is a large cost to counties. So if you have any questions, we may have to look into them further, but we do need to proceed.
Do you, can you give them that price again?
$5.35 per column inch with the McLeod County Chronicle in Glencoe, Minnesota.
Wishes of the board?
Mr. Chair, I will adopt resolution 25-CB-05 at the amount referenced by Sheila Murphy.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Again, McLeod County Chronicle for the official newspaper at $5.35. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I was pretty curious that there was a difference in the McLeod County Chronicle quote versus the Herald Journal quote.
Mr. Chair,
No explanation to a
they,
difference?
unless they decide to discuss that amongst themselves, we would not know.
Okay, thank you.
I would assume it has to do with their business expense calculation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C.
Thank you. Recalling that the financial statements are always a year behind, item C is to consider adopting resolution 25-CB-06, awarding second publication of our 2024 McLeod County financial statement. 1 bid was received for the second publication of this statement. A bid of $74 insertion cost per 1,000 copies was received from the Herald Journal in Winstead, which has a total circulation, again, of 1,193. So that's $74 per 1,000 copies. The recommendation is to accept that bid and adopt Resolution 25-CB-06, designating the Herald Journal as the official second publication of our 2024 financial statement.
Mr. Chair, I'll move Resolution 25 CB06 as referenced by Sheila Murphy.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Before you move to D and E, as pointed out, I think it's right in the packet, at least I'm trying to find it, but the resolution number should be 25, not 24, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
real quickly, just
These
while
should
we're
be
on
in
this
your
subject,
20.
I just would encourage, I realize that's our official newspaper, but I would encourage everybody that is able to, is to make sure to go on our website and look for notifications. It's getting so hard that way, and even when they're in the papers, not everybody reads them, but especially when it comes to drainage issues or special meeting issues, I just encourage people to, look at our website.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair, just a note that the financial statements are always available here. If you request a copy, we will send it to you, or you can stop by and we can provide a printed copy. I understand that not everyone obviously subscribes to that newspaper, and if a copy is wanted, we will make sure that it gets to you. So please let us know. However, they're always available year-round.
Very good. Item D.
Thank you. Item D, consider adopting Resolution 25-CB-07, appointing Ryan Freitag, McLeod County Soil and Water Conservation District Director, as McLeod County Drainage Inspector.
Moved.
Motion by Commissioner Wright.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger to appoint Ryan Freitag as McLeod County Drainage Inspector. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E.
Thank you. Item E, consider adopting Resolution 25-CB-08, appointing Ryan Freitag, McLeod County SWCD Director, as McLeod County Agriculture Inspector, and Adam Leskey, McLeod County SWCD Ditch and Drainage Inspector, as McLeod County Assistant Agricultural Inspector.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just a reminder that these two items, we do have a joint powers with our SWCD that I'm proud of, at least up to now I am. It's working really well compared to some other issues, so it's just a reminder that we do have that joint powers, and we work together.
I think it's been a good partnership.
I do too.
Yep, very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead, Sheila.
Thank you. Item F, notification of annual list of depositories for McLeod County 2025, required by statute, is included in the board packet. If any list is needed, please let us know. We can provide a copy. Item G, notification of board workshop following the board meeting on Tuesday, January 21, 2025, here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota.
Thank you. Any open forum, press relations? Anyone wish to address the board? Press? We do have some more business to conduct, and I will at this time turn it over to Mr. Hanch regarding that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have 3 items today. Item A is a summary of the December 17, 2024 closed meeting that was closed for the purposes of conducting an annual review of McLeod County Administrator Sheila Murphy. This summary is short. Ms. Murphy was unavailable to be present in person on the 17th, so we moved the annual review to today's meeting, and that will be item B here in a second. But state statute requires us to summarize any performance evaluation that occurs during closed meeting at the next following meeting. So that is why I provided that very short summary of item A. But there were really no other conclusions there beyond moving to today's date. So, Mr. Chair, that does bring me to item B. Item B, Mr. Chair, I'd ask that you solicit a motion that we move into closed meeting for the purpose of conducting an employee performance evaluation of our county administrator, Ms. Murphy, at this time.
Wishes of the board.
Move closed meeting.
Motion by Commissioner Schmalz, there's a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright to move in closed meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll take a few minutes to clear the room and start the closed meeting. Thank you, everybody. All right, we will move back into our agenda. We are at the point where we consider approving an employment agreement with McLeod County Administrator Sheila Murphy. Mr. Hanch?
Thank you. So item C for the board's consideration, consider approval of the employment agreement with McLeod County Administrator Sheila Murphy. The agreement itself was included in your packet. It's a 4-page document. It's similar to past years as far as verbiage in the terms of the agreement itself. There is one section involving section 3 that discusses salary or compensation. Right now, the agreement is blank regarding 2025. The 2026 pay is currently as written, that the increase will follow the same percentage for annual increases granted to non-union employees. So that piece would need to be spoken to. Otherwise, the agreement is in large part, again, similar to past employment agreements that we've had with Ms. Murphy. So I put that forward to the board's consideration at this time.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to provide a motion to consider approving the employment agreement with McLeod County Administrator Sheila Murphy, setting the salary at $159,653.42.
Motion by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Kruger. Any discussion?
Just added discussion, the salary is from the data, the same set of data that we collect from around the state when we look at other salaries. And after hearing our very favorable performance review, I don't see why we can't show the same consideration for setting the salary for Administrator in McLeod County and showing considerable dedication to our constituents and to our employees here.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Yes.
Just for information, 16 counties that we compared. Excuse me, my mic was off. We compared 16 counties. Just adding that to Paul's statement, so it's a good number of counties for comparison.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote on the employment agreement with the wage that was stated. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Right now, we're looking to go into recess till our next board meeting, 9 a.m. Tuesday, January 21st at the McLeod County Government Center. Is there a motion to recess?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Wright, second by Schmalz. Any discussion? Hearing none, proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll take just a minute here or two and get into our workshop. I think that's rather lengthy too, isn't it?